Hello everyone, this is Ross from Retro Dream Beam. I'm an eBay seller full-time. I've been doing this with my fiance Nana for more than 3 years now. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm about to go into what we are shipping out today on Tuesday. So this is weird. This keeps happening to me. This particular day of sales is better than any of my individual weekend sales. But if you look at last year or basically since we started eBay, weekend was always like the big pile of sales for us. So that's just like what's happening with my store. Don't know why, but I'll take it. I'd rather like have a good day than a Tuesday being slow. All right, I forgot to grab that. It's in the other room. It's going to be one of the Legend of the Five Rings. You know what? I can grab it real quick. All right, I'm back. I grabbed this right here, Legend. Excuse me. Legend of the Five Rings. This is going to be the binder. This is going to be Crab versus Mantis right here. So yeah, there's a bunch of these different clans in this card game. They also have RPG. They also have some board games. There's like an emperor, and all these clans are like within the same island. And then there's like strife and war, and then there's alliances and a lot of stories within it. So yeah, these are just two clans that like are fighting each other, but like it's a cool binder for the trading card game. Super cool. This one's basically new. I feel like if I open it up more, I'm going to hear that like kind of like book crack, if that makes sense. They also have that for binders. This person's going to be happy with this. I made a note that I spent $2 for this in auction, ended up selling for $15.99 plus tax. Everything's no, plus tax and shipping. So plus shipping. I'm really out of it today. Apparently, I didn't feel like it. I actually got more sleep than yesterday, but I guess less sleep is better for me. All right. Next up is going to be this Warhammer 40K. I think this is like 7th edition. This is going to be one of the little rule books that comes in like a lot of those little starter kits. It's still a pretty solid rule book. I don't think it's like the full thing, but it's enough to like if you get the kits and you have enough miniatures and if you have a friend and they know the rules or have a rule book, you guys can play the game at least. So yeah, this ended up selling for $17. This one with this particular hammer and like the red background, I sell it a lot in the smaller version. I'm not too sure why. I find it a lot and I sell it a lot. So this ended up going for $17. All right, next up, this thing was from when we first started eBay. I can't sell hats. This is a Blackhawks Stanley Cup 2015 hat. Don't know anything about it. I don't know much about sports, but when we first started eBay, I started with like some of the classic stuff that I was watching other people do, like clothes and just like books and just like golf clubs and stuff that I had no knowledge of. So now I'm into my own little niche world right now for stuff I usually sell. I don't delist stuff. I already put the time into it. So like delisting in my head, at least for me, is just silly. I knew it's eventually going to sell. This did take almost, I think, 5 years. So it did take a while. I have this bin in the storage unit. I basically almost don't do hats anymore, unless if they're like nerdy or something. I'm just not good at listing them, not good at knowing the pricing. I'm just not good at any of it across the board. I'm not a hat person. So this ended up selling for $10. So nothing too crazy, but it was cool. I'm like, yes, I finally got a hat sale. I've sold a couple. Another used to pick up some too. She would find a bunch of hats really cheap at estate sales, and that's usually when we got them, and then I would list them. So she had a good eye for them. We have sold hats before, like in the beginning, but more when she was doing more of the listing in the beginning for that kind of stuff, where she was helping me with the clothes and stuff like that. We were getting more sales. So she can do it. I can't. All right. I just thought it was a good flashback for me. Next up is Lupus and Tabula right here. This is going to be like a card game by Mayfair Games. They're known for doing Settlers of Catan back in the day. They also try to do a bunch of other games, but their flagship game really was Settlers of Catan. But people will collect the Mayfair Games stuff. So this is just going to be a card game right here. I haven't played it. It's going international. So this sold for $9.38. I do pick up like the interesting card games and stuff that I don't fully recognize. Like I see Mayfair and I usually grab it if it's cheap enough because I know people want to fill out their collections. So it'll kind of be like if someone has whatever, like a hat collection, right? They're going to want a bunch of different hats within the same series. People do that for board games too. All right, next up is going to be, this was a weird one that I learned about. So these are going to be some buttons. It's maybe like either a starter set. It's called Hope and Chastity by Atlas Games. This is like a button game. So I've never seen this before. I end up listing, I don't know if you can see it, but like the games can be played with these characters and stuff, and they have like little stats on the right side. It's kind of like a horror themed right here. This is like a creepy ghost child, and then there's like, yeah, there's another like doll, and they all have like I said stats on the side. So I'm not too sure how you play it, but they are buttons that you can put on here, and then it's either by, I think the company is called Button Men, or maybe that's the game. Oh, I think the game's called Button Men, and then this is the Hope and Chastity pack. It just, has been opened up. $9.60. I like gimmicks in games in general. In like real life, I'm not really a gimmick fan. I see like gimmicks for something, like, oh, this tool is going to whatever cook this thing in half of a millisecond. I don't like that kind of gimmick stuff. But for board games, I just like it when people innovate on board games, because I think a lot of board games will just use kind of classic stuff. It'll be like cards and dice and a board, and that's it. A lot of the games I like will be a little bit more expansive on some of these. Kind of think outside the box. That's why I like legacy games where you'll like destroy components, you'll make permanent changes to a game, because I just like that kind of concept. I feel like board games have a lot, or the designers in board games have a lot of space still to grow and do creative stuff. So when I see stuff like this, I like it. I like that kind of stuff. Doesn't mean I'm going to play it. All right. Next up is going to be some incomplete sprues for Warhammer 40K. I think this is, what is it? Yeah, Chaos Biker bits and pieces right here. Got some wheels, got some legs. You have some like chests and a couple of heads. So I don't think it's enough to make like any full miniature for sure. It's just like a little sprue thing. Got a bunch of these at like an auction. I got like a bid for a bunch of them. Also going international, people like to kit bash where they mix like bits and pieces. Sometimes they want to make like, maybe they have some heads and boots and stuff, and they want to like make a bigger thing or something. Like, people do a lot of creative stuff with Warhammer and miniatures in general. All right, moving along. This is going to be, I think, custom right here. It was an Avalon Hill board game map. It's like black and white. It was New Pavis Town right here, so might be for one of those Avalon Hill games. I must have done like more research when I like was listing it. I don't remember now at this point, but yeah, it was kind of like, I couldn't tell if it was photocopied or not, so I put custom in the title. But like the black is very sharp on this, so it might be just like for whatever game it is. $12.80 for that one. All right, moving along, we have a combo order for $17.50. I took a bunch of really low offers on some computer games, but because it was like 5-in-1, and then because some of the offers were really low for a couple of the games, but then some of the other offers were kind of reasonable for the price I had, like the starting price. So Commandos, Strike Force right here, like I said, a bunch of PC games. Crisis Maximum Edition right over here. And then we have Men of Valor right there. Not all of these have the manuals and stuff, but they definitely have the disc and they're like clean. BioShock right here. And I actually like this game a lot. I never actually played it, which is like weird. It was just like one of those games I just never got around to. And I don't know if I can go back and enjoy it now, but I know Annetta liked it a lot. And then Mortar 2 right here. Haven't played any of these, but I do pick up PC games. We do appreciate the physical media. So someone's going to go through these, and like they end up spending $17.50. I think it was like $3.50 each or something, maybe a little bit different for each one. So that was a combo order. They're going to have fun. That's a pretty cool thing that they're going to do. Next up is going to be 101 Dalmatians, a pull-out poster book right here from the movie. It's been a long time since I've seen this movie. But yeah, they also used to have the sing-along like VHS tape for, was it Disney? Old Disney or something like that? Yeah, that was like a interesting like a musical thing that they had too. But yeah, someone's gonna maybe pull these out as like they're literally pull out posters. I like the old school like magazines and stuff where you like rip out the page and you get like a nice poster, 12-inch by like 9-inch. And I'm going for $6.86. So I don't remember where we got that, probably at like an estate sale. Next up is going to be a bunch of cards, starter cards for a board game, a deck builder called Aeon's End. This is just going to be a bunch of the crystal cards, and then there's also sparks. Those are like the starting cards. I couldn't figure out what set this is from. In the down left corner, they'll have like numbers for like what expansion. There's a bunch of expansions for Aeon's End. There's also the base game. So it's like it started with A. So maybe it was the legacy version of the game. That's only Aeon's End that we've played. We didn't like it that much. We didn't finish it, Annette and I. But yeah, this type of deck builder is different than a normal deck builder because, okay, so you're playing like fantasy characters, fantasy sci-fi characters. You have like a planet or a base called Gravehold, and you're trying to protect it from like a nemesis monster, some kind of like monster, and all their minions are kind of invading. That's like the whole story of it. But yeah, it's kind of like fantasy sci-fi, so kind of like Star Wars, but more fantasy, definitely more fantasy, if that makes sense. So yeah, you'll have these characters. You're playing mages. You use like your sparks, or you have breaches, which are things that you like cast your spells from. This is all like denoted with your character board and little tiles for the breaches. And then most of the game is just playing cards, doing damage to the nemesis and their monsters. So usually some kind of goal, usually to defeat the nemesis while you protect Gravehold. But yeah, this stack of cards, I don't know why people wanted this many. I just made this almost as I had a bunch of bits and pieces for AN10, so this is all that I had left. So I was like, I'll just put these together. But yeah, someone picked this up for $12.47 because like you don't need that many of the crystals and the sparks for a starting player. So yeah, that's why I was surprised it sold. But hey, you never know what someone's gonna use it for. It might just be they like the art, not even for the game. Next up is like a pretty cool one. I love selling these. These are 19. This is from 1966, so I do pretty well with the 1960s board games. I can usually spot them. This is something that I know someone else like would look at and think is complete junk. Like their eyes would glaze over this and they just move on. But I would notice that like just the style and stuff. This is a 60s board game. It's called Executive Manager right here, a manpower game. It's these games are usually hard to see if they're complete or not because there's usually no component list in the rule book. A lot of modern games you pop open on the front page will have pictures and it'll say how much of every token, every card that you get so you can count it. But like back in the day they didn't really have that, so I kind of have to like just list it as is and hope for the best. But this one looked complete, so let's see if I can pull out any of the pieces. I had like a weird baggie on it because it couldn't fit. Yeah, this is like super cool. This is like 50 something years old right now. I just find that fascinating that I'm like holding like a piece of history. Oh, this is like really well done. So I end up getting $49.99 for this. So here's the board. You have to actually like clip it together. Here's a bunch of the little cards. This is fantastic. Like honestly, you know what's weird? The quality of this game is better than some modern board games. So I know that's just kind of crazy. Like this is cool little, it looks like money, little market price cards and stuff. It looks like it might be missing the rule book, but some of these games you just had to like read the back of the box or in the inside of the box. Maybe it's on here. Oh yeah, here you go. Inside of the box. Sorry, it's been a bit since I listed this. So yeah, there you go. The rules are right there. Yeah, super cool. At least to me. Sorry, $49.92, not 99 cents. I was lying about 7 cents there. All right. Next up, last up for the day is this owl right here, a Speedy Stitcher. Don't know too much about this. I don't even remember listing this. So this is probably just helping as like a tool for needlecraft and stuff like that, sewing and whatever they use this for. Probably so your hands don't hurt. I'm assuming you'll have an actual tool that you can like thread the stuff and actually like use it. This ended up going for $19.99. So got some like really interesting stuff today, all the way from like just like a random collectible vintage household good to a hat that I normally don't sell to the 60s board game to like the Dalmatians book, and then the weird like nerdy stuff, bits and pieces. It was just a cool day of sales. All right. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you'd like to help support us. Take a look at our links down below.